Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So the way I usually do this is we do the full live, go through your books and writing and everything.
Yeah.
And then I go and I load that up to my YouTube podcast after. So
Okay.
anybody that didn't get a chance to watch this, they can watch it later. I'll send you the link so you can share it out or whatever you want to do with it on that side.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. I sent it to a couple of people before this, and I just
Yeah, I
shared it with
should
a
share
couple
it
right
too.
now.
Yeah, let me share it out as well.
Okay, and then we can get started.
Okay. Yeah, because I know I'm sorry about the timing.
No,
I
no
have
worries, no
someone
worries.
watching. I have someone watching my daughter. She's 5, so they can't watch her for long, but I'm here for 30 minutes or so.
Okay, no worries. I mean, we can always do this again another time, so don't worry about that.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
So let's give it about one more minute or so, and then we'll get
Sure.
going.
Sure. Hi, guys. Yeah, that football game didn't work out in my favor.
Believe me, I understand. I'm a
Yeah, I
Vikings
got
fan,
it.
so I've had a
Yeah.
lot of years of disappointment.
Disappointment. Yeah.
Hi, Monica. Okay, so we'll get started because, like I said, I'm gonna load it in, and then
Right.
whoever misses it or misses part, they can go back and
Yeah.
watch it on there.
Okay.
Okay,
Perfect.
so thank you to everybody who's joining to watch this right now. This is a live version I do of my podcast called Between Authors, where I interview other authors. It's on my YouTube channel, which is in my link tree. You can definitely go on there. I probably have 80 different indie authors I've interviewed over the couple of years I've been doing this. You can go find a bunch of new authors. They have some great works and a lot of talented indie authors out there, which is why I do this.
For
So
sure.
today I have Lisa Vonwhitt, and Lisa, for the ones that maybe don't currently follow you, don't know your books, or don't know who you are, why don't you just give them a quick introduction?
Okay. Hi, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Lisa Vonwhitt. I am a dark romance author. I wrote this book called Her When a Sinner Meets a Saint. And I also have a second book out called Him. And these books are very dark, dark romance. Definitely spicy with some erotica in there. And it is, oh, well, let me not get ahead of myself. Um, about me as an author, like I said, I'm a dark romance author, and I'm also currently writing a dark romantasy.
So was that the genre you went in thinking to write, or is it just what happened as you started writing? Or was that
No,
even the genre you
absolutely.
liked reading before?
Oh, absolutely always been a dark girly. I've always been into horror. I've always liked being scared. So, and I've always read dark romance. So it's just something that comes naturally to me for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand that. That's my foundation is horror as well, which is
Yeah, I see
why I
that. I
write
love
that and why I write the Unholy
that.
Queens, which can't get much darker and
Yeah,
smuttier or
I
anything than
want to check.
those.
I want to check it out. It looks really good. It looks right up my alley.
They are definitely I don't want to take too much time on my stuff, but they're definitely over the top. I mean, I wrote
Yeah,
them purposely to be over the top because they are
yeah,
all monsters in some sense. And I said, okay,
yeah.
I'm not going to give them anything to hold them back. Let's just let them do what they're going to
Right.
do.
Yeah, that's the fun part about dark romance.
Yep.
You kind of get to let loose.
Yeah. I mean, again, and being an indie author is the other great thing about that is you write it the way you want to write it, right? You don't have to fit it into any specific
Right.
genre, fit it into any cookie cutter things. You're
Absolutely.
like, this is what I want my story to look like. This is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, you have a big range to work with for sure.
Yeah. So why don't let's talk about the first book. Let's talk about her.
Okay.
Kind
Okay.
of maybe explain how that came about, and don't give away anything you don't want to give away, but kind of explain
Right.
what the story's about.
Right. Okay. So this story came about. I have, well, I have had a kind of a, I'm intrigued by psychopaths. And I know that's probably not a healthy, you know, like obsession to have, but I always thought that they were really interesting. I just want to know why their mind is the way it is. And I've always just been into like villains, right? And their backstories. I just think it's so interesting. The bad guy and his point of view. So I took that and I ran with it and I created this book, Her. And this is about a diagnosed psychopath um, who is looking for help with his obsession. I don't really want to say it on here. I'm not sure I can. We'll just call it professional following. Um, and he goes into therapy seeking help for it. And that's where he meets the FMC, and she is a studying psych doctor. So she's technically not, let's say she's not allowed really to be helping him, but she is there by herself. The main doctor goes out of town. So he instills like, confidence that she is able to work this case, which she does. She handles it. And I do fail to mention that Ender, the MMC in this story, is deaf, and she knows ASL, so she's able to communicate with him. So the doctor entrusted her to take on this case, and she does. And throughout their journey, they start to kind of become obsessed with each other, and they start to go on a crazy, crazy journey together. I don't want to give away too much, but they
Yeah.
do commit a crime together, and this definitely seals the deal for them. Um, and from then on out, they are just going through just ups and downs. It's a roller coaster of a book, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean it's true. The villain side of it, psychopath,
Yeah,
any of that is really always going to be the most interesting
for
backstory,
sure.
right? The
I
most
think so.
interesting
Yeah,
internal struggles that they have, and it's
yes.
really the characters that you can have so much building that you can do with them to try to
Oh,
explain
absolutely.
why they're doing some of these things they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's why also I wanted to write a psychopath too, because I wanted to really humanize him as a person. I definitely do not pretend that he is like a fluffy MMC that is pretending to be a psychopath. No, he really is a psychopath, but I really work on humanizing him and his backstory and why he is the way he is. And I want you to see that like monsters, they become monsters because of certain things that happen to them, right? So
Yeah,
I wanted you to be, yeah, I wanted you to be like, oh, this is a bad guy. I know this is a bad guy, but I still like him
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
I love that because I did the same thing in mine. I know everybody loves Camila, right, from Temptation.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah.
I always want you to know, she does some horrific things
Yes.
pretty
Yes.
consistently, right? And even with
Yeah.
Emiliano in there, because he's a serial unaliver, there's
Okay.
parts in there where you start liking these characters, but I want you, as I'm trying to write them, to remember just how horrible these people truly
Right.
are
Yeah. Like
and
you
that
have to be like,
balance.
hold on. Yeah, you have to be like,
Yeah.
hold on now. Let me remind you just how crazy they
Yes.
are.
Yeah, again,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the beauty of writing in these genres and writing
Yeah,
the
for
villain
sure.
side of it because you can do that, right? You do have that balance between people starting to, technically fall in love or loving these characters,
Yes.
and the other
Yeah.
side going, "Oh my God, what did they just do?" And
Well,
just
that's what
back
I
and
love
forth,
about it.
kind of going through
Yeah,
that.
it's like an internal battle. It's like I know I'm not supposed to like them, but I do. So it's a
Yes,
lot of
yes,
fun.
yeah, absolutely. And that's book one, correct?
Yes, this is book one that I was explaining. Yes. So in book two, you definitely get to dive deeper into Ender's backstory, the MMC, and you get to see kind of why. he is the way he is. It dives deeper into his backstory. He has like backflashes, and you get to really see his childhood and him growing up and what caused him to be so harmful, not only to himself but to everybody around him. And you also get to see the FMC Bryn in book two really grow as a person, and she becomes more confident. She's also hiding a really dark secret. I'm not going to give that away, but yeah, and you get to see her grow a lot, and you get to see that she's just as crazy as he is.
which makes it better, right? That definitely
Yeah,
is going to make
yeah.
that
It's
better.
probably why they
So
get
are
along
they,
so well.
is there relationship one of those ones where they kind of depend on one another, they feed off one of
Oh,
another?
for sure. Yeah, for sure. It's a very codependent relationship. I would
Yeah.
say Ender more so is codependent on Bryn because she is his psych doctor, and he's desperate for her help, and he becomes so grossly obsessed with her, like not in a healthy way. But she
Yeah.
also becomes obsessed with him. So yeah, it's definitely a codependent relationship, I would say so.
That's interesting. Is there, and again, don't give it away if you don't
Yeah,
want
that's
to.
fine.
Is there
That's
is
fine. You
there a
can.
power change within the story of the books
Oh,
where one is heavier in terms of the
um,
domination part of the relationship and then it
oh,
switches?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. In book one, I would say Ender definitely has the power. He's controlling the relationship. I would say in book two, you get to see Brand definitely step up and kind of, take control and, um, yeah, claim him, so to say.
Yeah.
I don't want to give too much away.
So did you always consider this to be a two-book series, or is that just the way it wound up?
Oh,
Or do you
so
have more
that
planned?
is the thing. I keep calling it a series, but it's definitely not. It's more of a three-booker because I do have a third book. So it's called, the first one's her, and then the second one is him. And then I do have the third book coming out this year, and it's called Us. And that should be released probably May or April. I'm kind of aiming for that. So yeah, so there'll be three books all together.
Okay, so it's going to be a trilogy in terms of the
A
overall
trilogy.
story.
Yes, thank you. Yes, a trilogy. Yes, exactly.
No, no, I mean, I couldn't. I blanked out on codependent earlier too. I was like,
No,
I can't think of the
no,
word.
it's fine. Like, well, when we're alive, it's kind of, I don't know. I get a little nervous, so I blink a lot.
so, so that's going to be the third book in the series. Technically, the end of the story. I
Yes.
maybe or maybe not, because
Yeah.
sometimes things
You can
happen,
always leave
right?
it
So you
open.
don't know.
Yeah.
So, do
Well,
you
I
have
mean,
other stuff? Yeah, sorry. I know you have a romantasy, a dark romantasy you have planned.
yes.
Um,
Hmm.
is that going to be completely in a different direction of kind of what this is? I mean, in terms of, I know it's a different form of genre, but do you
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of
for sure.
see kind of going with some of the same themes or stuff on that side?
For sure. This romantasy, I'm gonna preference that it's very, very dark. I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's probably gonna be something that I feel like a reader has never read before. And I know that's a big thing to say, but I truly think that what I'm writing is going to, I don't want to say shock a lot of people, but it is a very dark romantasy. It's very gory, and I'm definitely going to have to warn people that it's not like a fluffy romantasy. It's definitely a dark romantasy. And the MMC in that is also very obsessed with the FMC. So yeah, it's similar, but it's way different.
Nice. I mean, wow. I tech love anything that's super, super dark, gory. I mean, that's definitely my lane. So I love that you're going in
Yeah.
that direction.
Yeah, it's definitely gory. I'm gonna have to definitely warn people because there is a lot of crazy stuff that happens.
Okay. And I know you have book three kind of coming out. You're saying maybe later this year, mid
Yes.
year roughly. The
Hmm.
romantasy, are you just starting out, or you're already kind of in it?
I'm definitely in it pretty far. I wouldn't say that I'm anywhere near, first draft or anything, but I'm definitely deep in the story. I don't know how much I can say.
Yeah,
Do you want
you
me
don't
to
have to talk
do you
too
want
much
me to
about it.
explain
Yeah.
it at all?
No,
Because I can't.
I
I
would
can go
wait.
in.
I would wait till you feel it's where you want it to be,
Okay,
because
yeah.
I'm sure, as you
You
know, when you
never
write
know.
these things, it changes,
Yeah.
right? It's going to change on
Yeah, the
you. So
characters are
I would
crazy.
wait. I would wait till
Yeah.
you kind of know where that's going to go.
Right, right. I wanted to say too, it's funny how, I'm sitting here writing this dark romantasy and I have my MMC from my first book. He's like just in my ear constantly. It's like I can't let him go. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're living up to your stalker name, you know what I mean? So, I have to finish book 3 because he just won't let me go. He's constantly in my ear.
Yeah. Do you find yourself, or do you work in between stories like that often, or is it much easier for you to focus on one at a time?
Yeah, is it easier to single them out? For me, I think this is really my first time that I'm writing two stories like tandem. Um, and I think that it is coming easier for me, but I personally like to just focus on one story at a time. I did watch some of your podcasts and I heard that you can write like multiple different things. And I think that's so amazing. Like, I love the way your
Yeah.
mind works. I wish that I could like just focus solely, or I wish I could focus on everything instead of focusing solely on one project at a time, but it's just the way my brain works. I do like to kind of like dive into one thing at a time. But I am writing
Yeah.
tandem, so
That's good. Yeah, I can compartmentalize a lot of things, which is good
yeah.
and bad, right? So, but
Yeah,
that helps me kind of separate things when I write. So it's interesting
I
because I
love
can be
that
writing
though.
Unholy Queens, which are really dark and
Yeah,
spicy, and then I could be
yeah.
writing a children's book, which completely different
Yeah,
direction.
totally,
That
totally other. Yeah,
that I'm writing a horror, just a regular horror, trying to focus on the monster character, and so I hop
yeah.
back and forth, probably far too much, but it's just the way my
Mhm.
mind works. When I think of a scene for that
You
story, I
want to
just
get it
go to
out.
that and
Yeah,
I start
I
writing it out.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. That's awesome though. I love that you can do that. I wish I could do that. I feel like I would get more done if I could, honestly.
Yeah, I mean the best thing to do is always go with what you're the most comfortable with, right? Whatever that is, whether it's plotting or just writing, as you go into it, always just go with what you're most comfortable with, and you'll find your voice within that, because then you're in your
Right,
comfort
exactly.
zone doing it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So when you started the writing, was there something that led you into it? Was it something you've always wanted to do, or something that just kind of
So
happened?
yeah, so I can tell you that I've always loved to write. When I was very little, I remember writing books and illustrating little pictures on them and handing them to my grandma and be like, I wrote a book. And then from there, it went from, I don't know if you knew this website, but it was called Quizella. And it was where you could make up these quizzes and you can write these stories.
I
And,
think
it
so.
was
Yeah.
yeah, well, when I was a teenager, I used to write on there like fan fictions about Avenged Sevenfold and Good Charlotte. So I started writing fan fictions about them, and then from there I went to Wattpad, and I wrote on there, and I realized that it was just something that was never going to go away. Like I loved to write, and I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? I'm just going to really do it. I'm going to write a book, and I'm going to publish it. Because it's my passion. It's something I've always loved to do
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, it's great when you take that step, right? And I'm always
Yes, it feels so good.
proud of everybody that does it, because it's not an easy
Yeah.
step to take, to put it out
No.
there and
Oh
let
my
it
gosh.
go, right? To put it out there for
It is
everybody to
so
read. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much more that goes into it than I ever imagined. So yeah, you definitely be proud of yourself. If you write a book and you
Yeah.
publish it, very, very proud of yourself because it's a lot. It's a lot for one person to do for as an indie author. Yeah, it's a steep hill to climb for sure, but it's
Yes.
fun.
Yeah. So in terms of, what you've written, what you plan on writing, is
Mhm.
that was that the genre you've read previously, or, you know, I like reading, but I'm not a big reader because I just never have time because I'm trying to
Yeah.
write seven stories at once,
I
like
know. Oh
like a
my God. I
dummy.
know how you feel. I'm so jealous of people that get to read a whole bunch of books because I'm like, dang it, I'm stuck writing. But yeah, so I started out with Karen Marie Moning. I started out with her books, the Fever series, and they were like an urban, like a dark urban fantasy series, and man, I loved it so much that I went from there to J.R. Ward, and she wrote the Black Dagger Brotherhood, like dark vampire stories. There was one that was called Lover Awakened, and this man was psychotic. Like he was cut up, he had scars all over. He was not a nice person. And I was like, why am I into this? I am so into this right now. So yeah, it kind of just went from there, you know? And I got
Yeah.
darker and darker and darker. So yeah, I've
Yeah,
always been into
there's a
yeah, I've always
freedom
been
in the
into
darkness, right? In
oh
going that
yeah.
direction, because again, you don't give yourself any boundaries, anything that holds you
No,
back,
yeah.
and you just let it go. And like you said, for your romanticy, you're like, there's going to be some stuff in here that nobody else, I'm sure, has seen. And
Yeah, it's
that
crazy.
I love doing that too in the books, because you're like, yeah, I know you guys have talked about this, but look at this. This is some even
Hmm.
crazier stuff that you could
Yeah,
put in there. And it's
yeah.
just, I love it when the readers come back and like, what was that? I didn't expect that at all. It's just a
Yeah,
great part of the storytelling.
yeah, it is. Yeah, I love when I tell someone like, "Oh, it's like it, this book right here." I'm like, it's like intermediate, like it's not that bad. And then someone will tell me like, "No, that was pitch black," and I'm like, "Oh, like,
You're like,
oh, am
oops.
I am I numbed to this?"
So
But
one of
yeah,
the
it's
things I always, yeah,
go ahead. Sorry.
no, one of the things I always like to ask all the authors on this is, we kind of touched a little bit on what you've read or what you like to read, what you've
Yeah.
written, what you plan on writing. Is there
Mhm.
a genre or a storyline or something that you would hope to one day try, but maybe you're like, I'm not there yet, right? Like,
Yeah.
one of the examples I like to give is I love fantasy, sci-fi, but I got too many things in my head running around of these stories that I
Mhm.
don't think I can put the time in to build the world, right? Because
Right. Oh
there's too
my
much
gosh, the
stuff I want to
world
happen,
building.
right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So I can tell you right now with the romantasy, I think that is my first hurdle that I've climbed, like stepping outside of my comfort zone as a writer, because the world building, it's so different than just writing a dark romance. Because like writing a dark romance, it's basically set in modern day time, but in my
Mhm.
romantasy, it's a difficult challenge because it's set in really futuristic time where the moon split in half and there was like this major apocalypse that happened and these people have split into three sections, right? So to because the surface of the earth is basically dangerous for them and it's inhabitable. So they split into these sections. Some people live in orbit around the Earth. Some people live below the ocean in a glass city, and others live beneath in the ground underneath. So building these realms was definitely something I was not prepared for when it comes to adding so much detail into that. Um,
Yeah.
and you want it to be believable and you want it to be like like you know what I mean, when they're reading it you want to immerse the reader into that world. You want them to feel like they're there. So it's definitely been difficult, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to write like a fantasy book like that. But I just added a little twist, a little darkness in there, and it's going all right. It's going good.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting when you start pulling from different things that inspire you from different avenues, right? Whether it's movies,
Yeah,
books, music,
right.
anything like that that you kind of pull in from. Um, so, you know, going on that kind of part, what other things inspire you? We've already kind of talked about the books. Is there
Yeah,
specific music, movies, things that kind of have built your foundation? Because essentially, that's your author voice, right? That's what's kind of made you
right.
you. What do you
Yeah.
think is back there that's kind of done that?
Oh, definitely. I would definitely say music. Music is an amazing avenue to use and to utilize to write. I think music transports you to places, and you're able to really build something off those lyrics and the sound and the way it makes you feel. I would say music is definitely a big influence, and just movies, any kind of media, honestly, like TV shows, movies, books, like all of that is like those are tools to help you expand your mind and your creativity and your imagination. So I use all of it, honestly. Any type of art, any type of
Yeah.
media, I use to my advantage.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why, again, there should not be any competition between authors because
No, not
everyone's
at all.
voice is completely
It's going to be
unique, right?
different.
And it's for
Yes,
that reason.
absolutely.
It's what your upbringing was, what your interests are then and now. I mean, all of that makes you unique. So there is
Right.
never any competition. I mean, two authors could write the same exact plot,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a completely different book,
Completely
right?
different.
Completely different
Yeah.
angles.
Yeah, writing is exactly like people. We're all unique and we all have our own voices. And just like a fingerprint, nothing is going to be the exact same.
Yeah. So I know you have, I think Her is on audiobook now or just came out, right?
So that's unfortunate. That won't be out. It was supposed to drop the 15th of this month, but that's not going to be out till the end of the month. My narrator, he is a professional. I love him so much. He's such a good dude. He's just making sure that it's tip top
Yeah.
perfect before it releases. So that will be out at the end of this month for sure. But he's just making sure that it's absolutely perfect for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. There's things, I wanted to
Yeah,
release my third queen, the Medusa one, by Christmas, and I've had some delays, and it's going to be
yeah,
soon, but
it
it
happens.
happens, right? There's not much you can do on that side.
Right.
Are you gonna have audiobooks for the entire trilogy?
So me and him, we have been talking, and I think we are going to do an audiobook for book two. Book two is very long, by the way. It's like 800 pages. It's a thick girl, so I think it'll do better on audio. I think people would be more inclined to listen to it rather than read it because it would take up a lot of time. It would be time consuming to read that many pages. But yeah, we're definitely aiming for an audiobook with that one as well. Probably this year as well, truly. I think he said he could probably get to it this year. So that's going to be fun.
Okay, sounds good. Um,
Yeah.
so when you write, right, and I know we're getting closer to the time, so let me know when you have to go
Okay,
on
you're
that
fine.
side.
You're fine. Okay, I'll
But
let you know.
when you write, are you somebody that has to do a full outline, has to have kind of the game plan in front, or do you just
Yeah.
let it go?
So that's, you know what? That's a hard one to say because I think I'm right in the middle. I think I started out writing from like just the seat of my pants. Like I would have it in my brain and I would just write. Like honestly, my first book, I think I was in a manic episode because I didn't do any outline. I mean, I was writing from 5 a.m. and this is no joke. I was writing from 5 a.m. to like midnight every single day. Like I would take breaks, I would eat and, do do stuff here and there, but for the majority, I was writing like 6,000 words a day. I was going, it was crazy. Like everyone around me is like, "Girl, you need to slow down." But with this, with my current book that I'm working on right now, the dark romantasy, I definitely am doing outlines. But I don't know if they help as much as, like, I know a lot of people like to do outlines and like it helps them guide where the story's going, but for me, I think each character kind of has their own voice and
Yeah.
they kind of lead me where I want to go. Also, like I feel like I'm a weird writer in the way where a lot of my writing comes to me in dreams. Like whether that's daydreaming or actual dreaming, I feel like that's where I get a lot of my inspiration from. So like
Mhm.
I'll think about the book when I'm laying in bed and then I'll dream about it and I'll be like, well, I'm gonna put that in the book. So, but yeah, I do try to, tend to write outlines, but I kind of go off. I kind of go off then.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, it goes by what you're comfortable with. I can't outline. I've
No,
never really done it. I mean, I write. I don't even write sometimes chronologically. I'm all over the place
really? Do you
because
write down a line?
yeah, yeah.
Wow,
Because a
that's
lot of times
cool.
I have a scene in my head, right? And I like, okay,
Yeah,
this is I need to write this whole thing out. Then another one will pop, and it could be one's chapter two, one's chapter 19.
really.
But
Do you
it
find it
I
hard?
kind of
Do you find it
not really
hard
because
writing up
not
to that
really
point?
because in my head it's almost like I have the entire story there, right? And
Okay, yeah.
I'm pulling sections out of it, and it's very clear that chapter, that scene, whatever that is, and I put that
Okay.
down, and then something else is very clear, but I kind of have the story there. I know where I want it to start, where I want it to end, and how I
Yeah.
kind of want it to get there. But the problem is, and you kind of explained this with the characters, is that it's never going to do that, right? It's always going to organically go
No.
where it wants,
They
and you
they
have
have
to
their
let
own
it, right?
voice.
You
Yeah.
don't want to hold it back because
No.
I feel that's when you get writer's block is when you're trying to force stuff,
Yeah.
and the
Yes.
story's always better when you just let it organically grow. And
Absolutely.
I've
Yeah.
always loved what comes out from that rather than this is where it
Oh,
has to
forcing
go.
it. Yeah. Forcing it is always such a bad thing to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely would rather have it happen organically than sit there and be precise by the outline. You know what I
yeah,
mean? If I go outside the outline, I'm like, oh well, that's what the character wanted to do, you know? And I let the character have full reign of me. I let them speak through me.
yeah.
So I never really truly, if I don't follow the outline, I'm not like, oh, this is the end of the world. I just take it and run with it. Go
Yeah.
on to the next.
I mean, I've always considered the story very similar to real life, right? Or the real world.
Oh yeah,
In that,
yeah,
in your everyday life you meet somebody at the market, at the gas station, wherever, that wasn't a
hmm
part of your life and maybe going forward is somehow a bigger part, somebody you
yeah.
meet
That's
on
so
TikTok
cool.
and books and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And how if you outline that, that character is no longer that character. There's things that's
you're
happened
so.
that
Yeah,
they've
that's so
changed,
true.
right?
Yeah,
So
that's so true. I
you
like
have to
that.
kind of let it grow. And that's why sometimes characters come in that weren't supposed to be big parts
Yeah,
of the story
yeah,
and they don't
yeah,
leave, right? They
yeah.
go, they're squatters. They don't go away. They just stay there.
I know they just become part of it. You're like,
Yeah.
you can stay. Or like when you want to write off a character's death and then you fall in love with them and you're like, I don't think I'm gonna do it to him.
Yeah, I think I do the opposite because kind of in
Do
the
you?
my on my horror side, I kind of like to write a character that you're going to really start to like, and then I
What?
just yank it, right? I say sorry,
You're
he's got to
you're
go.
brutal. You're
I,
brutal.
it just for me it makes that character a little more impactful
I love
because
that sound.
it
Yes.
really shows you what that absence means, right? When you take that character
Right.
out of the
And that's real
equation.
life. That's like, that's real life. You lose people that you really, really care about. I think it's important to write into your stories, like realistic things. So you could fall in love with that character and they die, and that does make a big, huge impact for the reader. I'm just scared of people getting mad at me sometimes. I'm like, oh, will they hate me?
Yeah,
All
well,
right.
again, I really appreciate you coming on. Again, I don't want
Yeah,
to take you too long because I know you have some
we'll
stuff
do
you have to
this
go do.
again. Yeah, we'll do
Yeah,
this again when I have lots of
absolutely.
time.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you
then
so
again,
much,
everybody who
Adrian.
joined, thank you for joining. Again, thank you,
Thank you
Lisa, for
guys.
joining. For those of you that
Hi,
don't know, I
Brittany.
will put this on the YouTube podcast so you can go back and rewatch it or watch any part you missed. And
Yeah,
I try
thank
to do
you.
this off and on. I try to do this with more authors, but I'm on the West Coast, and generally, when I'm available, everybody else is putting their children to bed,
Yeah, I'm on the West
or it's
Coast too,
late.
so that's
Yeah,
good.
so it's
Um,
difficult on that side for me to get authors to do it. But
oh, I
I
know.
try
Yeah,
constantly to get more authors on here to really to introduce them to everybody in case they haven't
yeah.
found them, right? And
I
and
just
that's the
wanted to
thing. It's
say
just
to
always to get eyes on our work.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to Adrian, like, you are seriously such an angel for doing this and for exposing indie authors and giving them a spotlight to use their voices and share their writing. You're a really cool dude, and I really appreciate you. Like, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. I appreciate.
Yeah,
I mean, again, I know how much work this takes, right? For the indie
yeah,
author, even for other book talkers. I know how much everybody's
yeah,
putting into it. I know it's not their main thing. They got day jobs, they have
yeah,
families, all these things. So I just like to try to help and at least try to get them out there. I don't have a big platform, but at least people that maybe follow me see my stuff that doesn't know about them. At least that helps them grow a little bit and get their
yeah.
stuff out there a little more.
I think it's awesome what you do, truly. Yeah, thank you so much. Also,
Thank you.
let's do this again. I'll message you, I'll let you know, and maybe we can talk about my dark romance book coming out. We can have a little
Absolutely.
longer
Yeah.
chat.
Let me know when you want to do that. We'll definitely do that. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
again for joining. Thank
Have
you
a good
everybody for
night. Bye,
watching.
everyone. Bye
Bye.
bye.